Hi guys, and welcome back to the Instinct MMA podcast. I'm Matt. That's Louis.
Hi guys.
We're going to be talking about UFC 251, Usman v Masvidal, and all the post fights. Not the most exciting card, but it had a little bit for everyone.
Yeah, I feel like it started pretty well, to be fair. Like honestly, towards the end, I think it was expected. Like you put a bet on, didn't you, for like decision in a few of them. Like Max is never going to get KO'd. Volkanovski's, we all always knew that was going to be like the full 25 minutes. Really.
It was too close to call last time.
Yeah, but I mean, you had the Rose fight went the whole distance. Like a lot of the main card did, but
unexpectedly.
Yeah, you thought Rose might finish it off, but yeah, I did as well. To be fair,
we'll talk more about that later though.
Yeah, so we'll start off with like the Davy Grant fight to start with, which really started the night really well. Yeah, honestly, like great knockout. Davy Grant deserved the 50 grand bonus that he did get. I think
definitely,
it was fully deserved. Martin Day, I was expecting more from him, to be fair. He got the little early knockdown in the first round, but from there on, it was just Davy Grant was just the more powerful fighter, and you saw that at the end.
A clean knockout, especially in the third round.
Yeah,
something like that.
Exactly. Still having the energy, because I thought, to be honest, Martin Day would have more energy, and for Davy Grant, he still looked pretty fresh at the end of the fight. So yeah, well done to him, and we'll see where he goes from here. Really.
Yeah. The rest of the card, decision.
Well, we had Kara Rose on the next one, but like I said in the prediction video, that I knew Kara Rose was just going to be the strong person, and you could tell throughout the whole fight that she was, and she did a great job, and she's probably going to go well from here, and we'll see what's next for her really as well. Then what was the one after that?
Paiva versus Zimagulov.
So this one I'm going to have a bit of a discussion about.
Paiva came in overweight as well.
Paiva came over 4 pounds, wasn't it?
Quite a bit for flyweight as well.
But honestly, Paiva started quite well, but I feel like Zalagulas was like kind of... I think he looked good. He
was very small, didn't he?
But I feel like the first few minutes of that fight, he was kind of adjusting to kind of the way Paiva was fighting, and I feel like he managed to get inside quite a lot, and that's why I'm kind of annoyed about this fight, because I had a bet on it for him. Obviously, my prediction was for him. Yeah, he lost, but I feel like the decision was a bit dodgy, to be fair. I understand why they said Paiva. It's just he looked the stronger guy, but I thought Zalagas did much better, to be honest, and I think he should have got that decision.
Yeah, he was more active.
But it's his first UFC fight. Like I said, it's unpredictable how they're going to look, but I think he looked good, especially over fighting 125 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's a division where you can get into those like higher stages. So we'll definitely see more of him, and I'm pretty confident that he's going to keep doing well. I feel like he was, because it was his first UFC fight, he looked a bit like he was a bit nervous for the step up, but I feel like he'll open up in the next few fights, and well done to Paiva, but obviously missing weight is kind of not great.
Yeah.
I don't think he can drop down to 125. I think it was a very tough cut for him.
He looked pretty tall as well.
Yeah, tall. Yeah, exactly. Definitely for 125. But yeah, it was a good fight. I think my prediction went the wrong way, obviously, but I feel like the decision was a bit dodgy, but we'll have to see.
Now we got Marcin Tybura versus Maxim Grishin. Maxim Grishin came up from light heavyweight, apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
He had about 30 pounds less than Tybura, and Tybura obviously took a lot of the advantage of that, where he just hold on to him and clinch on the cage.
But he did that a lot with Derek Lewis when he fought him in the first few rounds. He was like wrestling him, which is what kind of Derek Lewis doesn't want. So he kind of knows fighters. Obviously, he was meant to be Romanov. He was meant to be fighting.
Yeah.
That was our prediction for him anyway. But obviously, we didn't get a prediction video in for that. But I went with Tybura anyway during the fight, and he did what he had to do.
He won the fight, but in an extremely boring fashion. I mean, do what you got to do, but
it's like Usman did, really. Yeah. He just did what he had to do, and I think obviously the other guy's coming in on short notice, but he's kind of got a fight on short notice as well with a new fight that he's not kind of prepared for. So I think he just did what he had to do, and he got the win. So
yeah.
So we got the prelims next.
So we got Leonardo Santos and Roman Bogatov. Dirty cheater.
So yeah, you had Santos winning that one. He did end up getting the win, but it was a bit of a scrappy fight, to be fair. They both just like got away. Bogatov with that illegal knee at the end, kind of costing the fight. I think he got deducted 2 points for that, so we all knew where it was going from there. But none of them really looked great. It was just one of those fights where it
threw something out of passion in it.
Exactly. So it's just
that was the only one I got of my bet. Well, my predictions right for the prelims.
Yeah,
he didn't even win it by his own pedigree. He only got it because
but it was the
illegal knee.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amir
Amakani one, isn't it?
Amakwani versus Dan Henry.
So that was that Anaconda, wasn't it?
He caught him in an anaconda choke, tightened it when he lifted his leg up and pushed the guy's arm.
I think it looks exciting, Amakani, though. I mean,
Yeah,
throwing
it's
it
good.
out in the first round is kind of like how Jermaine did against Sandhagen. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's...
You're not sweaty, but you've got your full strength.
Yeah, so he can get the grip in quite well. But I mean, to kind of transition into that anaconda so early in the fight it takes your opponent by surprise.
Good scrambles.
Did really well to get it. So yeah, great fight. That, to be fair, he's done really well.
I expected more of Dan Henry.
I know he just couldn't get into the fight, and that was a great submission. To be fair,
Dos Santos and Zalakov. I mean, that lived up to pretty much what I thought it would.
it was quite an even fight. It was on a split decision at the
When
end.
you've got someone who's like capoeira and like kickboxing, and then someone who's come from Dagestan, who's like a Muay Thai guy, there's always going to be like high caliber striking, like Wonderboy versus Darren Till.
But I felt with them, like I was watching the first few rounds, they both hit hard.
Yeah,
They didn't put any volume on each other, but when they did hit each other, they got rocked after one punch. So you could see the power was there. It was just no one managed to get the finish in the end. But yeah, it was a good fight to watch anyway. It was pretty even, and that's showing with the split decision, I think, really.
yeah, it was proper equal. I mean, Santos came out with like some capoeira spinning kicks near the end of it, but
Yeah, he did it right at the end, didn't he?
yeah, he was like, you're throwing it just to throw it to look cool, but you should have thrown it halfway through the fight.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I think fighting on Fight Island for the first time for everyone's kind of a bit nerve-wracking. So to throw
At
stuff
100
like that,
degrees,
you know what I mean? They don't really kind of want to do it yet.
especially how hot it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably like at least 30 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, but they'll have it air conditioning there, surely.
I mean, you can only do it to a certain amount, innit?
Yeah, very true. But yeah, that was a good fight again. The prelims was quite a good.
And then obviously Prochazka and Ozdemir.
That's brilliant. I think that Progashka, first fight in UFC, I think he looked good.
First fight, it was pretty equal until then.
Yeah, I think
back and
Ozdemir
forth.
might have just pipped the first round, but I thought the way what's his name?
Prochazka.
Yeah, he was like, I think he looked weird, like a kind of Bruce Lee type, hands quite wide open, like looked kind of like karate like in the first round. So I was like, this is strange, like I haven't seen this before, but it worked for him and he got that amazing knockout in the second round. So yeah, he looked good. I think he'll be a first UFC fight. We'll definitely see more of him, and then hopefully he can.
Something added to his knockout
But
reel.
apparently he was meant to come in the UFC earlier, and he said to Dana, I don't want to come in yet. Had
Not
a few
ready.
more fights under his belt, which is kind of a smart move from him. And then he said
Yeah.
like he felt like this was the right time to come in, facing a tough opponent, and he's got that big knockout, so he's done well. So we'll have to see where it goes.
There's loads of people that got thrown into the UFC too early. Sage Northcutt,
Definitely.
he came in far too early.
Mm-hmm.
He went over to Japan and was fighting in Japan. He got put against a world class Muay Thai fighter,
Yeah.
and basically he took a straight right hand to the forehead and it crushed his skull.
No, I've seen the pictures. Jesus, yeah.
And he was like, "Oh my days!"
But yeah, it's like I think that's what I mean. Like you don't really have many fighters who turn down a big chance to come in UFC.
No.
Kept his winning streak up and then managed to get in. So yeah, it's good from him. So yeah, great knockout. Let's pop this back on.
That's right. And then obviously we got the main card. Don't need no notes for the main card. Everyone remembers. So we had
Yeah. So we had Rebus
Amanda
to start with, didn't we?
Rebus.
She's quite feisty, isn't she? She's like
I love
feisty in
Rebus.
her interviews and all that, and she's like, I think she wants to go for the title. Great
True defo,
armbar,
especially
was it, that she got it with?
armbar, belly down
quite early
armbar
on as well. So,
within like the first 30 seconds.
but we predicted that. I think Paige
Yeah.
never was going to be up to scratch for her.
No, I mean she.
Do you think that was just a fight to kind of just get Rebus's name out there, really?
Yeah, you got to have a name. So Rebaz is now like 13th on the women's listing. But before then, she'd only beaten I can't remember her name there.
But I hadn't seen Rebus much anyway.
No.
Before, like I did obviously do my research when we had the card announced. So she's
Mackenzie Dern.
I mean, she's got that 101 record, hasn't she?
Yeah, 101. Have you seen the memes?
Oh my god, there's so many. But yeah,
It's so good.
Well, she's 11-1 now, isn't she? She's lucky. Is it 10-1 now? Sorry.
10-1, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she looks good, and she's definitely got a bright future ahead. I like the feistiness in the interviews. I think she's definitely up for it as well, which is kind of the next fight we're going to talk about. I don't think is anymore.
I don't know what page is he going to do anymore.
Well, I think Dana was saying really, like in his interviews, like she was arguing about money, wouldn't
Money,
she?
yeah.
But I mean, if you get knocked out in the first round, like you can't complain about money unless you kind of up there at the top like Masvidal is and all that. Do you know what I mean? Like John Jones, I mean,
he can.
Obviously, he's having a lot of mess with this money situation, but he's one of those people who kind of can do it because he's that big.
Curtis Blades was complaining as well, saying he was going to go out there and starch out the last person he fought against. He's saying, Dana, I want that cash.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, he just lied on top of him for 30 minutes, I think it was.
Exactly. Well, that's just what I mean. If you want to have some money in UFC, you've got to be exciting. That's why Conor got all that money. That's why Khabib gets the money now because he just mauls people, and that's kind of what people want to see. So.
But yeah, and then you've got Rose Namajunas and Andrade. Not at all how I thought it was going to turn out.
No, I thought Rose, she was good. Obviously, I don't know why that judge gave it to Andrade. I think Rose obviously definitely won that fight, but she didn't have that fire that she used to have maybe a couple of years ago. I think that Andrade, she was talking about retirement anyway, and I feel like that is still in her mind from the way she was fighting. I was thinking maybe she might go for Weili Zhang. I still think she will, but if she fights like she did there, she ain't going to get that win.
I mean, the Rose that we saw fighting last week, I don't think she could beat Jen Jacek like that.
No, definitely not.
Because she barely got touched in that first fight.
What do you think it is with her? Because I just think...
Probably just nerves, I reckon. You come in and you got slammed and almost paralysed.
Yeah, but didn't really look like... I think she looked quite calm still fighting, but she just didn't feel like she had the fire in her belly anymore.
I reckon there was some nerves in there. Like, you fought Andrade, she slammed you. You don't want to get slammed again.
We'll have to see what she says in a few weeks, really, about fighting more, really. But I feel like... I don't know, I just feel like she needs that passion back that she used to have. Maybe it was a bit of nerves, because obviously... Andrade caught her with that massive...
And you don't want to get caught by it again.
No, I think she... Yeah, you're kind of right, but I just feel like she just wasn't... She wasn't up for it enough, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, and then Andrade looked great, to be fair.
Andrade looked really... I think, like I said to you, if that went 2 more rounds, I think Andrade would have had that.
She was closing it down.
In the third round, she really kind of grew into the fight, found a distance, obviously being a lot smaller. But
Rose was pieced up as well on the face.
Yeah, Rose looked a lot worse, but she really did what she had to do to win the fight. She did well. First 2 rounds, I think, is what obviously won it for her. The third round I thought was Andrade, but I don't know why that judge gave it to Andrade, really.
Yeah, I don't know. But we'll see how they both do next. Obviously, I don't know who Andrade will fight.
No. She'll probably fight one of the up-and-coming ones, maybe a bit like an 8 seed or a 7 seed, probably something like
that.
Yeah. Rose has kind of got to be given that Weili Zhang because no one else can kind of fight her at the moment.
I don't think Joanna would be fit to fight until next year after what she had at the start.
Oh my god, I know. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, we'll have to see where Rose goes. But I really hope she finds it because I think if she's up to scratch and she's against Weili Zhang, we're in for a great fight there, really.
Yeah, definitely. Because Weili Zhang, and I'd say Weili Zhang is just a better Andrade. Like the same skill set.
Yeah, exactly. She's a bit taller, isn't she? And she's very, very exciting to watch, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then we'll go on to the
Peter Yan
championship fights then now.
The Aldo. Pretty much how I expected it to go, you know, back and forth, but Peter Yan pretty much coming forward for most of it, engaging the most.
You could definitely see he was there. That boxing background he had, I think you could probably tell by how... I thought he was quite static. I don't think he was as good as I thought he'd be. Obviously, again, nerves again, because he's fighting Aldo at the end of the day. He's been up there for ages now.
I mean, for an amateur boxer, you would have thought he'd have more head movement.
Yeah, there's none of that, really.
There's not.
No.
Unless you came in...
the fighter, though, really.
No. You never really see Aldo do any head movement. But you'd see a tiny bit from Yan. He'd throw a straight, duck under with it. Mm-hmm. But when he was fainting, there was no head movement.
But I think Peter Yan did well getting those body shots in. Like,
the body shots were hard.
The first one. And I think that's why I thought nearly got called in the first round as well. Because of that body shot he hit him with. He kept ducking down, going in for that body shot, which is the boxing again.
Yeah.
Aldo caught Peter Yan with a few body shots, but I think Peter Yan just managed to get through them quite well. And then obviously towards the end of the fight, he just looked dominant, and that's why he got that victory.
Yeah, that stoppage there, disgusting. Oh, yeah. Leon, something the ref was called, but John McCarthy was saying he shouldn't let Leon ref again. Yeah,
it's understandable. I remember we were watching him like just call the fight because Aldo was getting destroyed. He was going nowhere as well on his front, and he was just.
It was like, just stop it. He's already dead.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but Nah, I think Aldo looked alright in the first, second round, but you could just tell Peter Yan was coming on. But I think him fighting Aljo is going to be a really good fight.
Yeah, Aljo would definitely come like out of the game.
But like I said, I don't know, I think he looked a bit static, Peter Yan. I think wasn't much movement. I think when he fights against someone with a bit more like bit of a mix up in the game, I think he's going to struggle. But we'll have to see if he can hold him to that championship. But there's definitely loads of fights going to come up for him. No doubt about that.
I don't know where Aldo goes. Someone who isn't.
Well, has he won in 135 yet?
No, he fought Marias, lost. For Yan, lost.
Yeah.
So maybe give him like a.
I don't know. He said he wants to carry on fighting, but for me, he's still only 33. He's still young, but
give him Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, that would sell. But if he gets beat by Sean O'Malley, then that's his career over.
It would, because O'Malley would shoot straight up.
Yeah.
There's really nowhere for him to go.
Well, he's been announced against Marlon Vera next, hasn't he? Which is a great fight as well. Maybe talk about that a bit later. And then we'll move on to the Max
Holloway and Volkanovski 2. Same, exactly how we thought it was going to go.
But what do you think? Because obviously everyone's talking about it should have been Max's, but what do you really think? Like,
I mean, Max probably should have won. I mean, you get 3 knockdowns, and they should count to a lot.
But the knockdowns in the first round, he was getting beat up until that point. Gets a nice head kick in, obviously. Second round, again, he catches him, but up until that point, I don't think he was looking.
I think
Volkanovski was looking stronger, but it's just like...
It's that whole thing, in it. It's like who gets more punches or who does more damage.
Yeah, well, Max was getting more. And he did in the third round as well, which is kind of the deciding one, which obviously everyone knows the first 2 rounds, even the judges know the first 2 rounds were Max's. The third round was kind of where everyone's head was spinning like over, that definitely should have been Max's. But to be honest, I think, like I was saying to you before, if you're fighting the champion, you've got to really beat the champion. And I was saying, if Max is a champion in that fight, he wins. If he's the champ going into that fight, he wins.
Yeah.
And now, because Volkanovski's the champ, to beat the champ, you've got to really...
You've either got to stop him or just put on a...
You've got to stop him or put on a great performance, like Burns against Woodley, for example, or Usman against Woodley. It's the kind of like...
Otherwise, you just got like John Jones. For his last 2 fights,
he could have lost. John Jones had like Gustafsson, he got pretty close in the first round, but because he was the champion, Gustafsson didn't do enough to beat him.
No, neither Santos
Reyes as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of them where, like, if you're fighting the champion, you really have to show to the judges that you're better than him. And I don't think Max did that, to be honest.
No.
I know it's a bit controversial, but I think Volkanovski definitely got the last 2 rounds. I think he did enough in the third round. And that's what the judges thought. Obviously, it's a bit of controversy, but I can't really argue with it, to be honest with you.
No, you could always give that one either way on any day. But
obviously, I would have understood if it was Max's or I would have Volkanovski's. But I thought at the end it was 3-2 Volkanovski, and that's kind of what happened. So, but yeah, that's just how it is. I think they both look good. Max looked. I was saying as soon as I saw him walk in the cage, he looked bigger. Do you not think?
A little bit thicker.
I think his arms looked bigger. I think he looked really good, actually. To be fair, looked stronger. Looked more like a Dustin Poirier build rather than like a skinny Max Holloway build. So I think he's got a long way to go still, and he'll definitely get a shot again.
He'll bounce back. I mean, he'll have to fight number 2 or number 3, and then obviously.
But I would say Max, because obviously you've got the Ortega versus Korean Zombie fight.
You could have the
so
winner
maybe
of that.
the loser of that fights Max and then the winner fights Volkanovski.
Yeah, and
so we'll have to
match
see.
up again.
Yeah, exactly. So there's loads where Max could definitely get his title shot again. He's just got to build up again, and I'm pretty confident he will do that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Then obviously you got Usman v Masvidal. I mean, it worked out on my bet, so I got 30 quid back because Usman won by decision, but it's what we expected him to do. Division 2 national wrestler.
Yeah.
He poured out all the stops every time.
Well, he won how he had to win.
Yeah.
He had to win.
Masvidal would swing or overextend himself. He'd switch levels and shoot in for a takedown.
But I think in the first round, in the first few minutes, Usman was kind of like, let's see if I can take this guy striking. I realised after a minute or two that he's a terrier, Masvidal. There's no chance he's going to beat him striking. And just thought, the way I need to win is put this guy against the cage, kind of like Khabib does sometimes. Obviously not on the floor, but he just kept him up there, stamping on his feet. He won how he had to win, and Masvidal wasn't very happy with the way he lost that fight. But I think
6 days notice.
6 days notice, exactly. So yeah, I think Usman can adjust better than Masvidal can. Obviously, we saw that, and got a win, and wasn't exciting, wasn't the best
No.
main event we've had, especially with Masvidal fighting on there, probably not one of his best fights, but I mean, Usman just gets the win like a champion does, really.
I mean, between the next two now, you could give Masvidal either Leon or Gilbert Burns, or
I don't know why I didn't want to take on Kobe though.
or Cody. Yeah, he probably starts
He
Cody.
said he don't want to take Kobe,
You know,
which I find weird because I think that'd be a really, really exciting fight. But I don't think he's scared. Obviously, I just think he just thinks, let's just take someone on that I know I can
stand up and fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Won't try and wrestle you.
But Gilbert Burns is going to be next for Usman anyway.
I mean,
sure.
I think Gilbert Burns is a more dangerous fight, considering I think he's probably got better wrestling than Masvidal.
Who Gilbert Burns? Yeah, for sure, 100%. But you could see Masvidal's takedown defense was brilliant.
He got taken down, he get back up after like a minute.
But it's like, can Masvidal stop Gilbert Burns doing what Usman did to him?
Yeah,
maybe on more notice he probably could. To be fair,
I mean, it all depends, doesn't it, on the day. But 6 days, it will always come back to saying, "Oh, I've had 6 days."
Well, we're definitely going to have Gilbert Burns Usman next, which again will be very, very good fight.
If he
we're definitely not going to see what we just saw there.
No. If he pulled it off, it would have been the shortest amount of time to get called and win a title.
Yeah.
Other than Michael Bisping's 2 weeks notice.
That's a great knockout there as well. But yeah, he just did what he had to do, and that was about it. So I think Usman did really well. Just adjusting to the way he had to fight and
fought like a champion. Fought to win.
That's what I mean. Like with champions, you can just tell when the champions, like the calmness he was fighting with. He just didn't ever like get scared of Masvidal flying at him. He just adjusted to how he had to do it, and he gets that win in the end. And fair play, that was good.
Yeah. And then obviously later on this week we've got Ige versus Qatar in it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Thursday.
I really, really like Ige, to be honest. I think his last fight was against Barboza, and
Good fight.
It was a bit of a close one, but I think Ige just shows his true passion inside. He just wants to get a scrap out of there. He just doesn't care if he gets hit. He just keeps going. I think Qatar won against Stevens last time as well.
Yeah.
So he looked good. A really good finish on Stevens, I think, in the second round. So, that'll be a really good fight. My prediction's probably Qatar, just because he's just a bit bigger and a bit stronger. I think he'll probably get him. But I really cannot wait for that fight, because I think Ige's just an exciting fight to watch, really.
And then the next card, I think it is...
We've got Figueiredo Benavidez.
Benavidez.
Who hopefully makes weight this time.
Yeah. And then we got Darren Till and Robert Whittaker, which should be a very exciting fight.
Yeah, we'll do our predictions for that one. We won't be able to do it for the next two, but we will do it for that one. And we'll get that in for that one. That'll be a good card as well. But what's your thoughts on Figueiredo Benavidez, do you think?
I mean, Figueiredo probably, again, considering how well he beat him last time. Mm-hmm. But it all depends if that weight cut affects him anymore, makes him a bit slower.
But I feel like they're just doing that fight just to kind of keep the 125 going, really.
Well, yeah, they need him. They still don't have a champion.
Yeah, I know they've not had one for like months now. But I think Figueiredo will probably do it again. If you can cut that weight, he definitely should now. Because if he doesn't, there's
no excuse.
I feel like the 125 division might be knocked out if he doesn't, because there's just no one going to be a leader. So yeah, we'll see how that fight goes. The next two should be exciting, and we'll definitely give them a watch.
Lots of fun fights to come in the future. We'll be talking about them all.
Yeah, can't wait to talk about them. Yeah, we're going to finish there.